Hey, welcome back to the next episode of Dear Kevin, where we talk about the Clerks cartoon. So today we'll be talking about the third and the fourth episodes of the show. Two very strong episodes, very fun episodes. The first one is the the Outbreak episode, where, well, fuck it, I'll just read the title, which again, I said the titles of the episodes are very, very long and overly descriptive. The title of episode 3 is Leonardo is caught in the grip of an outbreak. Leonardo is caught in the grip of an outbreak of Randall's imagination, and Patrick Swayze either does or doesn't work in a new pet store. So, in this episode, Randall is supposed to throw away like a case of burritos that have expired, but he leaves them on the sidewalk for like 6 days, and they get all old and rancid. One of them starts to like crawl away like a deformed mutant bug. And Leonardo, the billionaire antagonist of the series, he shows up and he has this monologue where he's talking about like, aha, expired burritos. My competition here at the new QUICKSTOP, like, they must have some plan. I'm gonna buy all these burritos and sell them myself. And he eats one and gets very, very sick. And I don't know why, but there's a monkey. And at a certain point, Randall just shows up with a monkey. So it turns into, you know, there's an outbreak. Oh, I know why there's a monkey. Haha, it's in the title. Patrick Swayze, voiced by Gilbert Gottfried again. And again, Gilbert Gottfried not even trying to do Patrick Swayze impersonation. And the design of Patrick Swayze in the show, if they didn't tell you consistently that he's Patrick Swayze, you would never guess. Like, he's got a hairband, so I guess it's kind of a Dirty Dancing thing. But the network, ABC, was so nervous about being sued that anytime they did some kind of celebrity parody, they tweaked it within an inch of his life. There were so many notes on the design of Patrick Swayze that they didn't... It eventually got, you know, redesigned to the point where you can't even tell who he is. Plus, the character Patrick Swayze works at a pet store, and the network was like, you can't say that about Patrick Swayze. You can't say he's working at a pet store and that he hasn't done a movie in years. And Kevin and Scott were just like, but he hasn't done a movie in years. Like, what the fuck? Okay. So there's a pet store next door to the QUICKSTOP, and a monkey shows up at the convenience store. I think Jan and Bob steal the monkey, because Kevin Smith has always wanted to work with a monkey. Something we'll get into in the next, the next movie, Jan and Bob Strike Back. So, the monkey shows up at the convenience store, bites Leonardo, who's already gotten sick from the burrito, and it turns into this big old, oh my god, there's an infected monkey outbreak thing. And eventually, like, the EPA shows up, and they drop, like, this huge inflatable dome over the entire city. Before The Simpsons did it, by the way, in the Simpsons movie. And it becomes that kind of a story, the outbreak storyline, the plague, fear, paranoia storyline. A lot of cool cameos this time around. Obviously, Alec Baldwin's back as Leonardo. But we've also got James Woods playing, like, the head general who's in charge of the outbreak and trying to keep it contained. He's fantastic. Charles Barkley's in it again, always playing himself. And Gilbert Gottfried, as I mentioned. And the big one is Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame, and at that point, Malcolm in the Middle fame. He's in it, as well as, like, a fighter jet pilot. He's only in it for a few lines, but he still manages to get a really good laugh from a few of his moments in the movie. I think he's got a monologue about how it's okay to be gay. Like, the way they finally resolve everything is that Dante has to say he's gay on national television. And Randall's, like, loving it, of course. Like, come on, dude, you're gay. It's fine. Be gay. So Dante, in an effort to save the town from being, like, nuked, has to admit that he's gay on national television, even though he's not. And Bryan Cranston has this long monologue about how it's fine to be gay, son. It's fantastic stuff. Al Franken's in it, who's now a senator or congressman. Not sure which. And then Dana Gould's in it again as well. Al Franken plays the mayor of this town, and he's credited on the show, like on the IMDb page, as Mayor McCheese, but that's only because he only got to appear in one episode. When they were making the idea for the show and pitching out ideas for it, they figured, well, we need to have a mayor character because we want to do grand, big, storylines that would involve, the heads of the city kind of a thing. But what do we do with our mayor? Because, there's a mayor who's like a JFK character on The Simpsons, and South Park's got a female mayor, and Adam West's, which I'm not even sure if Family Guy was a thing, but mayors, what do we do? So their idea was that they always catch their mayor at a press conference, either going to or coming from a costume party. So we see him this time, and he's dressed up as Mayor McCheese, which is a joke that probably flew over everybody's heads at the time, because that character hasn't existed. Everyone knows about Ronald McDonald, the little fucking creepy clown, and maybe they know about Grimace, the weird purple thing. But there was a whole slew of characters back in the early 90s and late 80s that were McDonald's themed, and one of them was Mayor McCheese. So Al Franken plays Mayor McCheese, and he's doing a Q&A about this outbreak, and we're going to contain it, and I swear to God, we're going to be safe. And somebody in the crowd goes, yes, what about the Grimace? How are we going to stop the Grimace? Can we kill the Grimace? And Al Franken goes, nobody can kill the Grimace. That became a big meme line if you're a fan of the cartoon. You know, hashtag nobody can kill the Grimace. The other one is the other big like quotable line from the show is coming up in the next episode, I believe. Yeah, and that's who's driving car? Bear is driving car. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this is a really fun episode. A sidebar on it is that way back in like 1995, somebody bought the rights to Clerks and made a pilot out of it, a TV show pilot, a live-action TV show pilot, which I may talk about. It's on the internet. You can find it. It's fucking atrocious. And Kevin Smith was not involved, and they didn't cast the two dudes in the movie, like Brian and Jeff, who are in the show, by the way. Everyone's reprising their roles. Brian and Jeff weren't cast in the sitcom, and Kevin Smith went down there and he was like, hey, you can't have Jay. I own the character of Jay. When Kevin Smith sold Clerks to Miramax, he retained the rights of Jay and Silent Bob so he could keep using them in case he moved from to a different network. Different studio. He owned Jay and Silent Bob. So they wrote Jay out of the show, but for like a day, Kevin Smith was going to be a staff writer on the Clerks TV show. And he pitched out an idea, which was like, well, what if there's a monkey and there's an outbreak, blah, blah, blah. That whole storyline was pitched out to the Clerks creator of the TV show. And the creator was like, maybe, that'll be like a B-plot. And Kevin was like, okay, what's a B-plot? What's a B-plot? And Kevin, the creator of Clerks, says, a B-plot is, it's like the thing in the background. It's not the main story, but it's, maybe if we have time, we can get to it. And Kevin Smith was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go have a smoke. And him and Mosier sit outside to have a cigarette, and Kevin was like, dude, this sucks, let's go. And Mosier was like, you wanted to leave? And Kevin goes, yeah, fuck it, like, let's just leave. Like, that's the creator of Clerks, fuck that guy, I'm the creator of Clerks, let's leave. And he just fucking left. Like, they never saw him again. He got a call from his agent, like, the next day saying, like, did you fucking just run away from, you can't do that, man. Like, fuck that guy, he stole my TV show. So eventually, when Kevin got his own Clerks TV show, albeit for like 2 episodes, he put that plot in there, the outbreak plot. That episode never aired as well, and it does contain the start of a running joke that would eventually come back in a different episode. The next episode, in fact, which is a good enough segue to talk about episode 4, which has got an exceptionally long title, again. It's a dissertation on the American justice system by people who have never been inside a courtroom, let alone know anything about the law, but have seen way too many legal thrillers. Which is true because Kevin Smith is an avowed Law & Order fan, or at least was back in the 90s. He's on Law & Order too. Look it up on YouTube, Kevin Smith, Law & Order. So this episode is probably the best, aside from maybe the ending, the final episode. The fans seem to love this one a lot. This one actually aired. This was the first episode to air. So technically this is the aired pilot of the Clerks cartoon. It's really silly. It goes left, right, all over the place. It's one of those stories. It's kind of like a Simpsons episode, as much as it starts over here and then goes over there, and there's lots of twists and turns throughout the episode where you never know where it's going. It moves very, very fast. There's a kind of a driving force to it, to the story, in as much as it's a courtroom thriller, so you're waiting to see the verdict. And even that goes fucking completely out the window. Charles Barkley's back again, playing himself, because the jury in this courtroom trial are all made up of professional sports athletes. Who else we got? Bunch of other athletes, I don't know, Reggie Miller, Michael Buffer. Paul Dini shows up in this episode. Paul Dini's the creator of Harley Quinn. He was a writer on Batman the Animated Series and The Mask of the Phantasm, and he's been on Fatman on Batman just a couple weeks ago, I think. He shows up to play George Lucas, which I think is pretty funny. So, the plot of the episode is that Randall slips on a soda at work. No, Randall doesn't do it. A customer slips on a soda at work that Randall spilled. And the customer is like, I should sue you QUICKSTOP people. Particularly you, Dante. And Randall's like, Dante's like, please don't sue me. And Randall follows him home for like the next 3 minutes, to his home, to his gym, to his job, wherever. And he's like, you wouldn't sue us. You're a big coward. You just kind of talk and talk. You money suit having motherfucker. You're never gonna sue the little guy because you're scared. And finally he turns around and goes, fine, Dante Hicks, I am suing you. And Randall's like, oh man, why'd you do that? So they go to court and lots of good legal jokes. Randall plays Dante's lawyer. And that's why George Lucas shows up, because he calls George Lucas to the stand as a witness to like give him shit about episode 1. You need to answer for your crimes. And then like the next joke is like there's a slew of other directors on the stand, all having to like explain their bad movies they made, including Joe Schumacher, who's dressed up in like the Batman suit with the bat nipples. This episode did air, like I said. It aired first, even though it's the 4th one produced. It has a few running jokes that pay off from earlier episodes that no one understood because they never saw the other episodes. It's a real shame when you watch this episode because you get the feeling, this one and the next one, you get the feeling of what the show could have been All shows take a little while to find their feet, particularly animated shows, because there's such a long process from when they have an idea when a script is written to when it's seen. It can take like a year. It takes a long time for a show to find its footing, and this one was doing it fairly quickly. Like, we're only at episode 4, and already I think this is one of the better episodes of the series. I mean, there's only 6, but still, it's right up there with anything from like Mission Hill. It'd be right up there with a good Simpsons episode, a good King of the Hill episode, better than most of the shit Family Guy does. God damn it. Goddamn camera issues. So, this time my battery didn't die, it's fully charged. Instead, I got a little warning light, or my screen went black, the viewfinder went black, and it said, internal temperature too high, please allow to cool. It's like 70 degrees in my apartment right now, god damn it all. Anyway, courtroom episode, very, very fun. In the finale of that episode, right as they're about to get the verdict back on whether or not Dante's gonna go to prison, it like cuts to like a title card that says like, the Korean animators have revolted, and they didn't want to finish this, so instead, like, they did this shit instead. And it turns into this wild, batshit crazy anime parody, which is really fun. There's a really great Transformers joke in it, some good, like, goofy sex jokes. The animation goes crazy, all the design of the characters changes. You get to see what Jay and Silent Bob and Dante and Randall would look like if they were in an anime. Very, very fun. That's where we get that moment where, who is driving car? And it pans over and there's a bear driving the car. Oh my god, bear is driving car! How can this be? Very quotable line. I believe that you can get like a poster or a sticker or something that says Bear is driving car on Jay and Silent Bob's secretstash.com, the store. The other thing to mention is it's got an excellent JFK parody in the middle of the episode, and if you're a fan of JFK, that moment will make you fucking laugh so goddamn hard. They do this Zapruder footage, where that home video footage of JFK being assassinated. They recreate that, but it's Jay in the car, and Dante's like, or Randall's like, back and to the left. So fucking funny. And that shot of like the Zapruder footage was actually animated in-house by the American animators because they were so rushed and they're having trouble with the Korean animators, which I'll get into in the wrap-up video. There's a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff I want to talk about because the commentary track is so full of good details. But anyway, fucking camera stopped working because apparently it's too hot in here. I mean, I know it's Texas, but it's been cold lately. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry about the break in the video. I'll be back next time to talk about the final 2 episodes of Clerks, the animated series. And now on to my Dear Kevin for today. Dear Kevin, as I said last time, I really think you should do a cartoon. Not more importantly, but also like in addition to that, I think it'd be really cool if you'd work with a group of people again, a group of writers. Obviously, you're a huge fan of Community and Family. That's why you use the same crew a lot and you use the same cast a lot. You're very tight with your people. Listening to the commentary track and watching these episodes is so much fun for me because I get to hear you laughing with other people and like, oh my god, you wrote that fucking joke, that's right. And just the sense of community of like, let's go put on a show. I think that's never more evident than in this and maybe Clerks 2. Clerks 2 had a real big, let's go to camp and put on a show kind of vibe to it. But I wish you would, I'd like to see you either do a podcast every once in a while that's got like more than just you and one other person, or like I said, or maybe another TV show that isn't just written by you. I think you do wonderfully with a group. I love, obviously, your solo project, my favorite things you've done. Some of my favorite things that exist in this world are things that you've done by yourself, but it just seems like you have so much fucking fun when you're working with people, and you get the same sense when you hear you and Matt Myra talking about, Frasier episodes and what you would do if you could recreate Frasier. Same thing when you and Mark Bernard are spitballing about whatever the fuck you guys are spitballing about. So, my Dear Kevin for this week is to say, like, I'd love it if you do that again, and also, it's a big inspiration for me, because I'm a guy who's alone a lot. I see my friends when I can, but working graveyard shifts, a lot of the time I'm just kind of in my apartment and in my head, bouncing around, looking for a way out. So, it's really inspiring to hear you have so much fun with, and the fact that you found people who, like, drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and they're in it with you, and that you guys all love each other and have the same sense of humor, and you can all build, something together. It's a real inspiration. I'm looking for people like that. That's part of why I'm on the internet doing this, is to reach out and say, hey, look, the things I like, do you like them too? Let's do something together. That's what I'm doing, and I'm doing it because of you, and because of this show in particular is what makes me want to, like, not be like an individualistic guy in a room typing away. That's what I do anyway, but like the sense of camaraderie that I feel when I listen to the commentary track and I watch this show, I want that as well someday. I want to be a part of that. Part of the reason I want to be a TV writer in addition to a filmmaker is this show. So, Sincerely, George, thank you for watching. Sorry about the goofy editing because my fucking camera got too hot, and I'll be back tomorrow to talk about the final episodes of the Clerks cartoon series. Ain't it a shame? 6 episodes, and that was that. Bye.